Yeah.com says Jones report is for the 22nd now. Well, yeah, we continued the up push, and this was all based on what we saw here from the DOC steel. Once it moved above 13.5, we were just expecting it to continue. Now you got the crossover right above the white MBI, white all the way underneath the 10 level here. So short's just not active. And then you get the magenta crossover back above 25. That is all solid push. Should take you to new highs. So there you go. Clean and simple, and still no resolution, for the Gulf or anything. But it just is an indication that from a business standpoint, things have not gotten ugly yet, and they're going to continue to increase value relative to what inflation will be. And it's just a matter of time, given what we're seeing with oil here down at persistent $100 a barrel, and that's going to remain that way. And even if they get a deal, it's going to have to stay up that way for quite a while, just to fill in the supply void, and that's going to take some time. Um, how that gets resolved is still going to mean that you're going to have higher food prices and all the other things 6 months from now. Ironically, right before the election. So um, that assumes that you even get a benefit, now. I mean, obviously, you've got a little bit of a window, but not much because the damage is already being done. So Euro still holding up because they're on their war footing. You get all these reports, and it's just a slow bleed thing to get people used to the idea that there's some kind of the Russians are at the front door kind of thing, but whatever. And from a gold standpoint, it's still holding modest relative to what we're seeing from an inflationary standpoint, though. Far suppressed from where it should be. I mean, we should be reaching new highs. And, this is the same story that we had even before from the Biden era when all the money was flowing through. There's a big lag between the time that pressure builds up for inflation. It's just a matter of, takes a while for people to get used to the idea. Oh my God, these prices are not going to stop. And the food thing is going to be a seriously one as far as acceleration because uh, you've got this super El Nino happening here and everything else, all building together with the fertilizer costs, diesel costs. There's no way that you're not going to see the spring summer crop that comes through not super inflated cost wise. So it's just a reality. From a BTC standpoint, stabilizing up at this particular level here, just under the 80. Um, you know, does have the potential to move more, but what's the incentive? I mean, the market's hot until the market cools down from a volatility standpoint. The market's still the place to be. So there we had our brief session lows. You can see yesterday was pretty decent volume to the upside, so fairly strong move. Um, Still mixed with a lot of shorts still think that the situation is dire, and I mean that's just relative. I mean, there's always a case to be made that the sky is falling, and literally you trade against that. It's probably the easiest. The Chicken Little defense is probably the easiest way to describe it. From a reading standpoint, though, you just can't ignore what is, and what is where money currently right now is still cheap, relatively speaking. Though getting more expensive as you see the 30-year Treasury climb. But when you have your buy signals, it's a buy. And Magenta, rising like this, even at a 5K, yeah. So this is our uh, early European open right here. Asia was solid off that. Nothing really objectionable. You had these nice rallies within the sellbacks. Interesting though that the sells were a little bit more than 50% retrace of the move, which I thought was interesting because it just means that from the algo standpoint, they're really taking full heat. So the breakout was, right here on the positive extreme looking at it, and they brought it all the way back to that positive extreme, which is just under the 100% retrace of it, because that would go uh, to the lows right here, which was just slightly lower. So it held just above the low support and was straight up from there. So I find that one interesting because it just it's an indication that they're willing to sell into that strength and then reload at the lower, expecting the range volatility. And so it's fairly mean reverting. I think that's pretty straightforward. Uh, I think trapped a lot of shorts in the move. And of course, you still have the potential that there could be some conflict, though it seems like Trump's pretty set on avoiding any additional battle, thinking that they're going to get a resolution. And we all know it's not going to happen. So at some point, you're going to have to decide how long you're going to let it go or just give up. And that really is the ultimate question on it. So we'll just keep following what the details are, but overall, reading wise, is pretty straightforward for us. Anything relevant, I'll put it on our team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.